What's up, friends? Game day edition of Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com with Dan Courtwright. I'm Sean Kellerman. Shout out to Elijah Schmidt running the production today. And always appreciate you joining us. Miles Schneer, also Crown Automotive. Want to give him a
Yeah,
shout out off the top for great partnership we have over at Crown Automotive over in Dan's neck of the
that's
woods.
right.
And appreciate their partnership, of course, with KU Athletics and here at KansasNation.com. Talking KU UConn here in the opening segment. Big news came out a little bit earlier today from head coach Bill Self that Darren Peterson will miss his 7th consecutive game. Peterson did not play in the Players Era tournament in Vegas, where KU went 3-0 without him, and they're going to have to play their best game yet if they want to win against a top 5 UConn team. We'll break that down for you here in the opening segment. After that, we're talking KU volleyball. We're going to hear from head coach Matt Ulmer, as well as Reese, Ptacek, and Ryan White, as KU volleyball prepares to host the first couple rounds of the NCAA tournament. We hope that KU is playing in both games. There's no reason to believe that they won't get past High Point Thursday night to take on probably Miami.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah, the
Game.
winner of Miami Tulsa, but Miami's the 5 seed.
Miami and KU have seen each other before in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So we'll hear from Coach Ulmer and a couple star players for KU volleyball. And then we've got a Top 10 Tuesday, Dan.
Yes, we do have a Top 10 Tuesday. It is a one that I've been thinking about for a while. I'm doing my top 10 things that need to come back in style. There's a lot of things of the past that I think are, they just need to come back. There's a lot of things that I think we did better as a society, maybe in the past that we've sort of left in the past. So
you know what really needs to come back? Plaid shirts, button-down plaid shirts that are unbuttoned. I mean, it's a look that has been basically looked down upon for years. We need to bring that back. I'm telling you, eventually we'll get there. It's not in style right now. It'll come back. That's Top 10 Tuesday with Dan Courtwright a little bit later in the show. Bill Self, he spoke in full yesterday to the media. Of course, this was prior to the news coming out today.
Yes.
Official statement on Peterson. So you'll hear some questions asked to the two-time national champion about DP that are a little bit dated now. Apologize for that, but obviously we're just waiting for the news to come out here on game day. And then following that, we are going to have a little special segment. Dan and I were over on Naismith Drive today, Fog Allen Fieldhouse, where nearly 120 camping groups had representatives. And we caught up with a couple of those camping groups or members of those camping groups, and also went behind enemy lines as well, as we spoke to a UConn fan who was getting a tour of Allen Fieldhouse.
That's right. Yeah. Jim from Connecticut. Windsor, Connecticut is where he was originally born, a UConn fan for life. He's been to all 6 national championship games that UConn has won.
That's crazy.
And very impressive. So, he also said this isn't his first time in Allen Fieldhouse. He was here in 2023 when UConn lost. So maybe he's the bad luck charm for UConn.
Well, great guy, but I hope that that's the case.
Me too. Granted,
he said he had to come back.
He has seen 6 national championships in person.
Yeah.
So I doubt that's the case.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe him being in Allen Fieldhouse could change things.
Well, they did lose last time he
Nice
was here,
guy.
like you said.
Jim
great
was a
guy,
fantastic guy.
But it was kind of fun hearing from Jim and a couple other people. But yeah, Jim said he was here a couple years ago, had to come back to Allen Fieldhouse because
it does unlike any other environment he's ever been in.
Atmosphere unlike any other. And then we'll close out the show with a few college basketball game picks before the action tonight, and hear from Bryson Tiller as well, who spoke briefly to the media yesterday. Dan, big news, the news everybody's been waiting on. We want Darren Peterson back. Haven't seen him in nearly a month now, and he's still going to be out, according to the Hall of Famer. Disappointing, especially because this is a really quality UConn team that can go to the Final Four. KU's going to need to be at their best.
Yeah, I mean, look, it sucks, right? I mean, that's probably the easiest way to put it. We want Darren Peterson out there, and again, look, this team has figured out how to play without him, and they've done a very good job. They played against one of the toughest defenses that Kansas will see in Tennessee. They wound up beating Tennessee, and even coming from behind, was it 12 points? I believe was the comeback victory. So look, it obviously stinks, and you want a DP back for this one, and Coach Self said it yesterday. We're actually going to hear from Coach Self a little later in the show. He said, "Look, we're still kind of evaluating, right? And we're going to know by the morning." And the morning came, and he said he's just not ready to go. He's been working his butt off, and he's still just not there yet. And look, there's look, Kansas fans are so quick to jump to conclusions about things, about conspiracies and different things in terms of why he's not playing. And look, we're around these guys. We're around Coach Self. We understand. We've talked to Darren Peterson before. The kid is a hooper, and he wants to be out there. And if he can't be out there, then I truly think that there is an underlying issue. And I've been consistent about this. You need him healthy for Big 12 play. Yes, it would be great to get a top 5 victory against UConn on your home court, which I believe the line has moved, and UConn right now is a 1.5 point favorite at Kansas, which is relatively shocking. You never see Kansas as a home
It's
dog.
rare. It's rare. The past couple of years, it's happened a few times, but yeah, you
Right.
rarely
I
see it.
think Houston came in last year as a favorite. Not a lot else, right? I mean, maybe UConn a couple years ago came in as a favorite, but Kansas wound up winning that game too. So, yeah, like I said, it sucks, and you really want him because obviously having a potential number 1 overall draft pick in the NBA is certainly going to help. But I think Kansas has the pieces around it to be able to be successful, and I think this isn't. I think probably Coach Self prefaced it by saying, "Hey guys, prepare for the worst," which is Darren Peterson's not going to be out there, and they've certainly know how to play without him out there. And we're going to break down UConn a little bit more in this segment, but like you said, just the news of the day: Darren Peterson will not be going.
Bill Self said, quote, Darren is not going to play tonight. He is very close. He has worked his butt off, but he is still not 100%. He is day to day, end quote. Not quite 100%, day to day. Those are all things that lead you to believe that he's close. Right now, since we've gotten past the feast week portion of the schedule where there's a lot going on, December's kind of a dead period in terms of schedule. You still have games, but not nearly as many.
Yeah.
You actually have more this season than you have. Like there have been Decembers where Kansas only plays 4 or 5 games, but still you're not playing 2 games a week on average. You look, Kansas plays tonight, the 2nd, then they play the 7th, the 13th, the 16th, and the 22nd.
Yeah.
So that's it. So you
and
have
then there's a long
5
period without
games, and then after the 22nd, you don't play until the 3rd.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes back to your point of, okay, get him healthy for Big 12 play. The 3rd is the Big 12 opener. So these are games that you don't want to lose, and you can't afford to lose all of them. And Kansas did a great job without DP, as we talked about in Vegas. Never want to lose to Mizzou. And then you got a top 25 quality team in NC State, and you've got a obviously top 5 team ranked number 5 in the country right now, and UConn. Those are your next 3 games. After that, you've got Towson and Davidson, 2 programs that you need to beat. You would love to be able to get DP out there, but say there's a world where he doesn't go and then can't play on Sunday against the other team, then against NC State on the 13th, again, you want him out there because these are important games. But I'm just saying, if the goal is to have him 100%, this is as, I guess, not busy of a part of the season as you're going to have, because I think Kansas maybe has 1 week where they don't have 2 games, January 24th, and then they don't play until January 31st. But otherwise, it's 2 games a week. I mean, it's a grinder in there. You want to make sure that he's healthy, and certainly if he's fresh, that's a plus. But all that to say, you want it back as soon as possible.
Right.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because in situations like this in the past, I think Kansas fans would say, oh, we were good. We proved it. We don't need this injured guy or whatever. But everybody's on the same page here.
Yeah.
It's like, man, so proud of these guys. This team has proven they're a top 20, top 25 caliber team without Darren Peterson, but also we need him because we want to be the best in the country because we're KU. So won't have him tonight. And it's going to be a challenge. UConn comes in here. They've got a small victory over BYU. They had a really close defeat at the hands of Arizona. Arizona right now, number 2 in the country, which I'm kind of surprised the fact that Purdue is 1, Arizona's 2, and Michigan's 3. I feel like Michigan, after running a train through 3 teams, should be number 1 in the country.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, Arizona's been impressive too.
Purdue hasn't lost a game, so you can't really punish them for not having, quality wins, I guess, but they are quality wins, right? I mean, they blew the doors off Gonzaga. They ran a train
30,
like
30,
you
40.
said. I
Oh my
know.
God. It's
It's
insane.
unbelievable, right? So I think that Michigan should be the number 2 team at least. It's again, it's so hard because Arizona hasn't lost a game and they went into Stores and beat UConn, so that's a very impressive win as well. So yeah, I mean that's just the way that it kind of shakes out. Is some of those guys where you can't punish other teams for not having quality wins. Purdue and Arizona are still undefeated, and UConn a very good program. But Michigan should be up there. I think Michigan right now, and even Bill Self said this. He said Michigan looks like the best team in the nation,
I mean,
just in
they've
terms of what
got
they did in the Players era.
Adai Mara, who's a 7'3" stretch guy. Yaxel Lindebor, we know that he's an
Oh,
absolute
he's
baller.
so much fun to
Namari
watch too.
Burnett, who people forget was at Texas Tech, and then they've got Elliot Cadeau, who of course was at North Carolina. That's
That's
a
right.
loaded roster. By the way, shout out to Rutgers. They get Purdue tonight and Michigan on Saturday,
Oh
and it'll be a well rested Michigan. They don't play until Saturday. So
man,
shout out to the Scarlet Knights, who are not good this year, and they're about to
think
have an
Ace Bailey has
0-2
any more?
week. It could get ugly. Hey, tell us about UConn. Of course, Kansas 6-2 entering this one. Huge victory over Tennessee. Like you said, they were down by 12. So KU has some momentum. UConn 6-1. Their lone loss, as I mentioned, was to Arizona, and they've got some names that you recognize for sure.
Yeah, I mean, some of the names that you recognize, right? Solo Ball, he was here in 2023, and he's had a stellar career so far. He's averaging 14.3 points per game. Just an outstanding guard that they have, really good at facilitating the ball, as well as being a very good scoring threat, excellent on the defense as well. Alex Caravan is another name that a lot of people are going to recognize, right? He's averaging 14 points per game right now, also 5.7 rebounds per game. But probably, what are the bigger names that you need to keep an eye out for is Terrace Reed Jr. He's their center right now. He's averaging 8.3 rebounds per game. He's also their leading scorer on the squad with 15.5 points per game, but he's been dealing with some injury, right? He's only played 4 out of their 7 games as well. He's getting healthy. He's going to be playing in this game, but that's still something to kind of keep an eye out for in terms of how Flory and Bryson kind of handle those big guys down low. I have some numbers that I just wanted to share, kind of some strengths that UConn has. Very good defenders, right? They're number 8 in opponent effective field goal percentage, right? So they're very good at applying pressure to guys who are trying to score. They don't let a lot of pressure inside. Now they do give up some threes, but the 3-point percentage is really good as well. They limit those 3-pointers, right? That's the way that you have to score on them, but their 3-point defense is outstanding. They're number 12 in opponent 3-point percentage, which is only 25.5%. So Kansas is going to have to get hot. They're going to have to deal with those hands in the face. They're going to have to try to find some sort of, extension off of those defenders to try to make those 3-pointers. I have faith in some of the 3-point shooting that we have, but it's still important to know. Also, they're very experienced, right? Like we said, Solo Ball, Alex Caravan, those guys have been there forever. Those guys have a national championship under their belt. So you have to look at that and say, all right, well, these guys know how to play at the highest level of basketball, and they've played in arenas in front of 80,000 people before in those national championships. So Allen Fieldhouse, yes, the environment gets ruckus. It's loud. It's impressive. They've been there before, right? Solo Ball even talked about it. He said he was so loud he couldn't even hear the coach talking, but he's not going to get rattled because he's been through that before. Same with Alex Caravan. So that's sort of something important to note is the fact that they're elite defenders and they do a good job of defending the 3-point line. That's unfortunately the way that Kansas is really going to have to come out and win this game. Now UConn, on the flip side of that, they have some weaknesses on their squad as well. They give up a lot of free throws, right? They're very foul prone. So if you can get Terrace Reed Jr. in foul trouble early while Flory is working down low, that's going to be very important to kind of look at, right? They're ranking 269th in opponent free throw rate, 41.6, which, I mean, we're getting to teams that are playing against UConn are getting to the free throw line a lot. And that's something that we've talked about, which has been arguably the biggest improvement of this Kansas squad from the last 2 years, is that they are getting to the free throw line. That's what's part of makes Trey White so good, is that he drives, he finds those lanes, and he can get to the line and get fouled on those tough layups and those tough jump shots. So that's going to come up huge. Again, playing a free throw game isn't exactly the most exciting, but that's probably going to be one of the bigger ways that Kansas is gonna try to be able to stay in this game. Also, they're not very good from the 3-point line as well. They're shooting 35.2% from the 3-point line. That's 122nd in the nation. Kansas, we know, has a very good defense when it comes to 3-point shooting. So Kansas can limit their 3-point shooting as well. They have good guards. They have guys who can score it. They can shoot, but I think this is going to come up huge for them as well. So also, they're not good at free throws either. I mean, they're no Syracuse, but they're still not very good at free throws. So if it does come down to free throws, I think Kansas does have the advantage there. So there are ways that Kansas can win this game. But again, these are just some very important things that I think that you should note and kind of watch for in terms of, all right, well, how does UConn, battle through if Terrace Reed does have some foul trouble there, right? They've done it before. He's only played in 4 of their 7 games. They've had guys who have come in and done a very good job of replacing Terrace Reed. They have good forwards down low. They have good front court down low who can battle with some of those guys. So it's going to be a tough one, man. It's going to be a battle. Like you said, UConn, they're right now a favorite in Allen Fieldhouse, which is something that we rarely ever see. We're not going to have DP. There's going to be another game where those guys need to step up. I want to see Elmarco Jackson not just have that one flash that he had against Tennessee. I want Elmarco Jackson to be able to take over a game like he did in that second half. I want Trey White to stay out of foul trouble and take over games as well. I want to see Melvin Council driving to the hoop and hitting those hard layups and getting to the free throw line, right? It's going to be a tough battle for the guys down low. This is right now the toughest game that Kansas has played, and that's including Duke and North Carolina. This team is very good. Coach Self even said it in the press conference. He said, this is going to be the best team that we've seen with offensive movement. In terms of offensive movement, they're really good on off-ball screens, which, as we know, Kansas got absolutely killed on the off-ball screens against North Carolina, right? So that's going to have to be something where
back cuts as well.
Yeah, back cuts. You have to be really careful about getting in those passing lanes, help defense, different things like that in order to slow down or at least stop the bleeding whenever they get on runs.
Kansas leads the all-time series 4-0 over UConn, which is surprising, right? 4-0. But UConn fans can't love that too much. But UConn, they're a recent blue blood because they've won so many national championships.
Yeah.
That's kind of what has set them apart, is the 6 number in the last 27 years. UConn just shoots 70% from the free throw line, kind of going off to your point earlier. So KU, you think, has the edge on that front. And then the 3-point percentage for UConn is interesting because they shoot 35.2% as a team, which is solid, if not spectacular, but
Average.
They shoot 35.2%, but so much of that is Alex Karaban.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly surprised that he's not a better NBA prospect or hasn't had that opportunity. Obviously, NIL, I'm sure, has played a part, but he's been here. He was here for both national championships. Yeah, he's a big guard who can shoot, but he shoots 50% from 3. You look at some of their other key contributors from a scoring standpoint. Solo Ball is just 24.5% from 3, and Silas Damari Jr. just 27.3% from 3. Jaden Ross off the bench shoots 43.8%, so they do have that option. And other guys will get some up, but it all starts with Karaban. Ball is probably the type of player that's going to get his. He reminds you of some of his teammates, frankly, that he was teammates with a couple years ago in Tristan Newton and Stephon Castle.
Yeah.
That type of a quick twitch, athletic, pro prospect type guard. It's a shame that we won't get to see Darren Peterson against him, but Ball not as much going to shoot. I'd be interested to know if the most important guy for Kansas on the defensive side is Ball or Karaban. Obviously, Reed is going to be a load inside, and KU's got to stay out of foul trouble like they did such a great job of doing in Vegas. But they actually have some bodies that they can throw at Reed, which is something we haven't had in the past. But between Karaban and Ball, I'm curious who is the most important guy, because this UConn team isn't quite as strong as they were a couple years ago, where they had multiple guys like Karaban in addition to Cam Spencer, plus you had the pro type guys and Stephon Castle and Donovan Clingan down low.
Right.
They're not quite as strong, but obviously they've got a lot of talent. They were an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament last year, almost beat Florida, the eventual national champion, in the second round. And of course, that was on the heels of back-to-back national championships for Danny Hurley. And going back to what Ball said about not being able to hear Danny Hurley last time they were in Fog Allen, that's impressive because he has a voice that travels.
Danny Hurley's a loud man.
Yeah. So any other further keys to the victory for Kansas tonight, where they're going to be shorthanded once again without DP?
Yeah, I mean, basically just reiterating, and it all comes down to 3-point shooting. You have to make your shots, right? It's going to be tough down low. If Flory Bidunga can battle down there with Terrace Reed Jr., that's going to be big, right? He's going to be probably the toughest center that he's faced all year up to this point, right? We know that he's a very good prospect. We know he's a really good center. He's their leading scorer and their leading rebounder. So they like to feed him a lot. If Flory can come up big, that's going to be huge. The front court's going to have to play arguably their best game, and they have been improving by the minute, right? I mean, early in the season, you heard Coach Self saying the bigs aren't playing like bigs. Then all of a sudden, it felt like Kansas had one of the best front courts in the nation over a span of 5 games, right? They have been on a rocket-like upward trajectory of just, quality of play with that front court with Bryson Tiller, Flory Bidunga. You can even throw Trey White in there. He's playing the 3, but he does such good work down low, especially with getting to the basket, right? So it's going to come down to the front court. The front court can't do it against Terrace Reed. Kansas is going to have to make their threes. You're going to have to deal with the hands in the face, right? So you have to like I'm looking at Cole Rosario right now. He's probably going to be coming off the bench in this game, right? And like he has in games previous. He needs to be a spark plug coming off that bench, and he has to hit a couple, maybe 3-4 threes in a row in order to allow Kansas to get on some kind of run there. And then at the same time, again, I don't want to use the word boring, but it's just Kansas has to get to the free throw line. They have to win the free throw battle there. They have to win the rebounding battle as well. So you have to win some key facets of the game in terms of 3-pointers made, free throw line, and rebounding to give you an opportunity to, get on your side of the ball and try to produce some offensive efficiency.
Well, it all goes down at 8 tonight, 6:30 p.m. You can hear pregame coverage on Sports Radio 810 WHB, but also stay locked into KansasNation.com. Dan's going to be live tweeting the game. We're also going to have some photos, videos, all sorts of things. What an opportunity for Flory Bidunga to go up against another good big after he struggled a little bit with efficiency against the Tennessee bigs.
Yeah.
And what an opportunity for all of KU's newcomers to play in Allen Fieldhouse and actually get that experience. I understand they've had games there before this season, but this one's going to be a little bit different tonight as the number 5 ranked Huskies come calling. After this, we're talking KU volleyball. We're going to hear from Matt Ulmer, Reese Ptacek, and Ryan White, but stick around. Bill Self in full and Bryson Tiller as well a little bit later in the show. Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com.
Hey, what's up, Chuck Nation? Roby Dunga here, and make sure you check out the new KansasNation.com. Rock Chalk.
KU volleyball for the 3rd consecutive year will be hosting the first couple rounds of the NCAA tournament as the 4-seed Jayhawks will welcome in High Point, Tulsa, and Miami. It'll be the High Point Panthers against KU Thursday at 6:30 for the right to take on the winner of Miami and Tulsa. Horse Family Volleyball Arena, year 1 for Matt Ulmer. We're going to hear from Matt Ulmer as well as Reese Ptacek and Ryan White as they met with the media yesterday. Let's hear these representatives of KU volleyball.
Matt, we've talked to you throughout this season about the process of growing and becoming the team you are. I wonder, was there something that showed itself early with this group that is still there and that you didn't have to sort of discover as you guys went on, a strength maybe even?
Well, I think the 5th set against Vanderbilt in our first match was important. Just in front of a big crowd and with pressure, being able to respond and be tough under stress. I thought that was good. And then I think our second match against Penn State, right away, we had 5th setter against Penn State in the second match and at Wisconsin and then Creighton, so 3 of the top teams at the time. I think what it did, it just showed these guys like we can play at this level, because again, I think for most of the team, it's new experience and you don't know what you don't know. And so getting into it and just saying like, hey, okay, we can do this. So I think that got everybody's attention and, the team has goals to win the conference and then to host and then to make it beyond what they've made, which would be getting to the 3rd round. And so those are words until you actually get out there and go play somebody that can really punch you. And so again, just to see our response, I think that was a good turning point for us. And again, it just made my job easier because they were more willing to listen. Yeah. Was I stressing? Yeah. I think the stressful part would be like if you're not sure if you're going to make the tournament. The team would like to be here. We'd like to be here. I'm happy we're here. But I thought no matter what, we'd get what we deserve. So we've had lots of chances to better our resume. We've had chances to worsen our resume, and so we are who we are. And this is what it's gotten us to. And if that meant we were on the road, then I'd be thrilled for that opportunity. But I'm really happy we're here. So.
I'm super excited. This is my first NCAA tournament ever. So I was super stoked about it. And then yesterday he was like, okay, like we're probably going to be like, we might end up being in this bracket or this one, like depending on like if we were to host or be a 5 seed after that. So I was super excited. Like all the photos showed it too. Like I was like cheering in Reese's face like right after it happened. But again, I feel like our long road at the beginning, like it's really fun for us to be at home in this first and second round, just because we did spend so much time away that to have the opportunity to be at home for 1 or 2 more matches is really huge for us.
Yeah, I'm grateful to just continue to show Kansas what we can do here in Horsh, and I'm grateful that they will be able to experience playoffs here, and it's just going to be another fun round.
Reese, what does it feel like? You felt this last year, hosting, getting 2 matches.
Yeah.
Does it feel the same going into this, or does this feel completely different?
I feel like it's the same but completely different, knowing it's a new coaching staff, knowing there's a different group of girls, so it's like the same excitement, the same joy, but now it's like different group, there's a different kind of sense of just feel to it, knowing that we're a different team. I think we're ready to go. We're ready for it.
Well, you're so experienced now too. Sophomore. I mean.
But yeah, I'm super
You've done it.
excited. The crowd is even more crazy than they usually are. And I remember last year hearing that I think the game sold out in like 15 minutes last year, like tickets sold out. So it's fun that people want to go and people want to watch, and that's just more fun for us to play with.
Reese, do you think about that Florida match at all last year, and how can you use that feeling to motivate yourself?
Yeah, I definitely think about kind of how I felt, emotionally, and how can I try to this year handle my emotions maybe a little bit better and kind of try to help rally the team around like, okay, hey, let's just play point for point and not worry about what's going to happen after. Let's just worry about what's going on right now.
Matt, you've got no shortage of experience making deep runs. Is there anything that's sort of common throughout those teams and different years that shows up with your teams at this time of year that kind of says, hey, this is why we made a deep run, or this is what you have to make a deep run? I mean, is there anything like that? And if so, does this team have it?
Well, thanks for noticing. I think the biggest thing is you're going to get everybody's best shot, and so you have to be, your competitiveness level, it's got to be elite. You have to be fearless. You have to go back there and you can serve with real pressure, because you're going to play some of the best offensive players in the country, which, we will definitely have in the 4 teams that we have here. But there's just a toughness that comes with teams that can win in December. And no, I didn't know if we had it until Baylor. I think after TCU, when, we played horribly and they were just beating us up, we responded against a very good Baylor team at their place. It was tough, and we found a way to win in 5. And we've had moments like that, like at K-State when we were down 22-17. We've had moments where we've really shown some legit grit and toughness. And I don't think this team had this group of Kansas Jacks had that for a while. So I think that's what you're going to have. And again, I thought we showed it well in our last match against UCF and at Iowa State. So I think we're trending in the right direction. That's what it's going to take. You can't be fearful. You can't just wish things are going to happen. You have to go out there and dictate your actions and dictate the results. And I think they're in a good place to do that.
Ryan, it's your first one, but that sounds like you.
Yeah.
How much fun is it for you to know that first time doing it, last chance to do it, and you get to play like that?
Yeah, I'm super stoked about it. I think going back to the question that you asked him earlier about like something that we've had this whole time, I think it's a fight in us. Like we always talk about how like our effort isn't something that varies. Maybe it's the skill of the game, like we need to be better at certain aspects of it, but the effort I think is something that hasn't varied throughout the season. So I like to bring that into my game. That's something that I kind of lean on, is like trying to give effort no matter what is going on. But I'm just so excited. Like, it's such a great opportunity. And then to combo everything of, like, we've worked so hard. We've had a very, very strong, like, strength of schedule. Like, the teams that we've played in preparation for this are really, really good. And then to also bring in 3 good teams for our, like, hosting. Like, it's just so exciting, like, to think about it. And I just love playing volleyball, too. So to have an extra week of practice, like, to get in there and work for 2 hours today and just have a good body of work and add all those things in, it's just super fun. Like, again, no opportunity in the past 3 years to kind of move on and have extra volleyball. So I'm just stoked to be in the gym an extra week, and hopefully we can just keep it going.
For both of you guys, Reese and Ryan, when in the rare case where that fear maybe does enter the huddle or a match, who do you guys look to out there to spat it away or bring it back to where you guys need?
Yeah.
Is there one person or is it multiple people?
I think we have quite a few. Like, it's honestly something where, like, anytime a timeout happens, Ellie Schneider is the first one to be speaking. She's a really great, like, off-the-bench presence, and, like, she always knows, like, you know, she's coming in, she's saying the first thing. But I think in the middle of it, something that we've been talking about a lot is our informational communication. So we taking our emotions out of it. Like, when things, maybe not feeling the fearfulness, but, like, when things aren't going our way, how can we come into the middle and, like, make that more impactful? So some teams, I think, you know, like, you'll see them come out and leave quickly. Like, how can we take an extra second in there, make some extra eye contact, and then on top of that, like, we're talking more game plan, right? So then when we get out there, Reese knows exactly what she's doing here, and if she's taking this on the block, I know exactly where I'm being. So taking it more of that informational side, like, objectively, instead of trying to get our emotions into it. Like, of course, like, there's always ups and downs in volleyball, but, you know, there was multiple examples against UCF and Iowa State where we were down, like, 5 or 6 points in a set, and we just continued to work at it and come back. And I think adding the game plan, like, talking into that, but also just taking more time in the middle and, like, really using that as, like, okay, what are we going to do on this next play? I think that helps us a lot.
Yeah, and I would agree. It's definitely being more informational than emotional. And a lot of times, sometimes it can even just be like, if you hit a ball out of bounds, setter connection maybe not there, I'll just, like, grab my setter's hand and be like, hey, next ball, let's get the next one. I think it's a lot more of just, like, you want them to know that they trust you, and, like, really focusing with your eyes, focusing your body language, like, hey, I got you, you got me, let's just go get the next one. I think that's another big thing, that when we take those long huddles, like, really looking at everyone and being like, let's get the next one, let's continue to be informational, but let's really, like, bring it in and trust each other.
Is that informational thing a coaching thing, or was this a player-developed strategy?
It's something that obviously we talk about a lot. Like, we don't want to be playing with a ton of emotions. Like, obviously you want to celebrate big and do things at the end, but objectively you want to be doing, like, all the statistical pieces correctly and not thinking too much about, like, oh, I just made a really bad play, or oh, I just made a really good play. Like, okay, I made that play. What am I doing next about it? But I think it's something that we've talked about a lot in the last few weeks. Like, that Utah BYU trip for us, like, it came, a lot of that is, like, we're going into this, you know, third season essentially, like the postseason, and how can we bring in all of that? Plus, I think we just know that we play better with it. Like, when we can really settle in, lean on every single person, everyone's talking. Like, when I see it, like, I'm sitting in left back and I get to hear my middle back, like, Grace is coming up and she's like, okay, I'm going to shift here on this ball and do this, this, and this. Or, you know, I'm hearing Reese talk about what's going on the other side. Like, that's when you can kind of tell we're in our flow state, because you're not thinking about, oh, I did X, Y, and Z wrong. And so it's more of just, like, you're all locked in, like, what's the target, what's the next goal. But I would say it's a mix of both. He always encourages it, but I think when we have our moments that aren't our best, that's the first thing to come up that we talk about is, you know, where was our informational communication? Did we get quiet, or did we continue to push and, like, have the talk that we need to have?
How much time do you spend thinking about Tulsa or Miami ahead of this match on Thursday? Because obviously you have to beat High Point first, but you don't have a lot of time to prepare for either.
Yeah, I mean, the next 2 days we'll really focus on High Point. I asked the group, I said, okay, the last 2 years since we didn't make it out, you know, to the Sweet 16 the last 2 years, what have we done in the past? And they said we focused on the first round up until we know who we're playing in the second round. So I flipped it. So today we worked on who we could possibly play in the second round. And then the next 2 days we'll work on High Point. So just putting some nuggets in there so they can see. So again, when they're working this week, they know what all the options could look like over the time. But again, their goals are not just to get to the second round. Their goals to get beyond that. So I think you need to push them to be able to do that.
Matt, I was trying to think back to your introductory press conference and sort of your welcome to Kansas moment, and what you said you envisioned for the future of this program and your leadership and all that. Does that informational thing, does that fit as one of your, like, core values as a coach? Has that always been a part of what you preach and teach?
No, this is a proud coach moment to hear all the things I had to say, for sure, because that's not what we were like at all to start. So, especially this one. So she's gonna be a good coach. I mean, that's what she wants to be. I was just listening to your TED talk. That was nice. It was good. Yeah, I mean, for us again, yeah, you want to play with passion, you know, but you don't want your emotions to rule you. And again, I think that's when it comes back down to one play at a time. You know, can you separate all those feelings from just what's your job that you need to do to make us get better? And that way you don't ride the roller coaster as much. And as you can see in the beginning of the year, we had a lot of roller coaster matches with all the 5-setters. So I think it's something that we've really been working on. I feel like I've harped more on mindset than anything else with this group. I think that's been our biggest opportunity for growth is how we handle situations. individually and then as a team. So again, to see some of the things that we did, to come back from a really poor week in Utah and then play at Iowa State, lost a home match, to go in that environment when they had a nice crowd and handle it the way we did, like those are really nice check marks for me with what the group is doing. So it's nice to know that all my yelling hasn't gone unnoticed or unappreciated, you know. So no, I think they're handling it better. And again, when this moment comes, like there's going to be some stressful times this weekend in our own gym, and you know what are they going to do with it? So
on the Utah trip, did you think that hurt you for hosting? I mean, was that a concern at all, or did you not let yourselves go there?
I mean, this whole time it's just been trying to get them better to be our best selves now. I mean, that's what it's been. And again, maybe our best match was the match before that trip was K-State. So that's why I love coaching, because who the heck knows, you know? So you just keep teaching. I mean, that's all I can do, right? And then nothing else matters. So keep teaching, keep developing. It's going to take you where it takes you. I think if you have that mindset, then you can always be hopeful and just keep pushing forward. So, I mean, for sure it didn't help our resume, you know, but again, I thought we had a lot of good things going for us. Our body of work overall was good, and those are 2 tournament teams. You know, it's not like you just lost to Slouches. We had 10 teams from the Big 12 in the tournament. I thought we might even get the 11th with Cincinnati, and so that ties a record for NCAA history. You know, so it's like that's our conference. So again, if you ride the waves of the ups and downs, then it's going to be a really long season. And I think overall we've done a good job of just keep pushing forward.
There's that philosophy of coaches that make practice so hard that the games are easier, fun, even.
Yeah.
Can that be true of your conference schedule going into the postseason? Like 10 teams made it, you played 9 of them, obviously.
Yep.
Can that feel like, wow, this is actually easier than conference play if you want to maybe put it in those
Right. And so again, if you go back to our first talks about our non-conference schedule, and you guys were looking at me like I'm crazy, right? Because we did the 5. I remember in this room, all of you looked at me like, "What are you doing?" And I know you believed in me at the time, but is because you got to go out there and you got to push yourself. You got to go be really uncomfortable, you know, and we got to see what we're made out of. And you're going to take some losses with that, but again, I think those are lessons that you have to learn. And again, what it did is it prepared us for conference, and now that's prepared us for the postseason. So again, I just think if you're looking at it because you're trying to legitimately be your best in December, then you handle your season and how you handle everything differently. If it's just about the here and now and in the moment and getting that win or just getting victories, I don't know. That's just not how I do things. So.
Last one for me, I think. Reese and Ryan, is that easy to do? Going into August, thinking about December, thinking about everything that matters is geared toward this moment. I mean, it seems like that could be a challenge for those of you that are in the heat of it all.
Yeah, I think we split it up well, like a good balance in our minds of we are still taking it day by day. Like you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. In this case, thinking about what, like, oh, like we're going to make it to the Final Four. Like you don't want to think that far because you need to do your job today type of thing. But I think knowing that like all of the work that we were going to do and just keeping it objective in that sense, but like knowing, you know, that first day in August, like, okay, all of this stuff that we're going to do during season, that's going to prep us for the rest of our experience in December. So again, not thinking too far ahead of it, but using it as a fuel of like, where do we want to be, right? We want to be in Kansas City at the end of December. So how can we prep for that, but not get too far ahead of ourselves?
And I think it's a bit of knowing, like, are you getting that 1% better every day? Like, knowing that you are here in the now with practice and things like that. But then, like, tomorrow, can we build off of what we learned the day before and continue to work there? Because by the end, you'll know that from where you started to now, there's so much difference that's been made. And it's just, that's also a big part of where that growth comes and knowing that you're your best in December.
That's Matt Ulmer, Reese Ptacek, and Ryan White at the podium previewing High Point. Dan, that's KU volleyball's next match, and obviously it's win or go home time in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and they have a lot of really good players on their squad as well. Addison Freeland has been incredible all year. So has Maya Bukovkin. I believe I'm saying that right, but a lot of really good players on this squad. Very good on the offensive side of the ball. They're also 3-time Big South champions in a row. So this is a very good squad, and Kansas can't just come into this game thinking that they're just going to roll over High Point, right? High Point, they have a very good program, a lot of high-profile scorers, a tall squad as well. Like I said, 3 straight Big South champions. So again, this is going to be a tough matchup, but I like that Kansas is going to be in the mix at Horace. It's going to be quite a bit of fun. So be sure to get your tickets now at KUathletics.com.
KUathletics.com/tickets. KU volleyball hosting High Point, round 1 of the NCAA tournament Thursday at 6:30. We'll have more coverage in the coming days here on KansasNation.com. All right, after this, a Top 10 Tuesday. You're watching Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com.
I'm Kenny Logan Jr., and you're watching KansasNation.com.
So we do have a Top 10 Tuesday on the precipice, but really quick, we wanted to get some content for you guys regarding the KU basketball game tonight against UConn. Number 21, Kansas. Number 5, UConn, 8 p.m. at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. Dan and I were over at Fog Allen Fieldhouse earlier today and caught up with a couple star students, star campers, if you will. First is Olivia, a freshman, and I had an opportunity to have a conversation with Olivia about her camping experience in front of a few national championship trophies in the Booth Family Hall of Athletics. Here's that.
What's up, guys? Sean here with Kansas Nation. We are at Allen Fieldhouse right now, and I'm joined right now by Olivia. Olivia's a freshman at KU, and she's camping here for the big game tonight, KU and UConn, a top 25 battle. Olivia, first, tell us about your camping group, how you got here, your excitement for tonight.
Hi, our camping group is Finding Flory. We're a little bit lower on the list, but we've been camping, and I don't think we've actually missed at all, so we've kind of stayed around and saying we moved up a little bit. We started at 75, I think, so I think we've made it around like 70.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys have like full 30 people, or how is this?
30,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. How'd you come up with the name Finding Flory? I mean, obviously play on words, but who came up with that?
I'm actually not sure because our group is like about 50 people, so we just kind of like, I just kind of got put in this group, but it's just a bunch of like friends.
Right, for sure. Well, talk about like your shifts and how it works. Like, who coordinates all that? Because I remember back when I was in school, it was a lot of coordination, figuring out, all right, who's showing up at 6 a.m., who's doing the double shifts, all that.
Yeah, we have like a whole spreadsheet that we like, right when she like posts it a week in advance, and we all like put it in. Like, one senior is the one that's organizing basically who all gets where, and we just kind of like put in our slots, and then like if there's any slots open, she'll just assign right to do it.
Hey, as you're here longer at KU, is that a spot you can fill into sometime down the line in your camping career?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, sounds good. What do you like about the team so far this year? Obviously, they just won 3 in Vegas, and this is a big one tonight, but they've got some momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really excited to see how this game's going to go. I just like, I don't know, going to games is definitely more exciting than I think basketball. I mean, sorry, football, but yeah, so I'm really excited about today's game.
Yeah, it's going to be electric. Full camping groups literally throughout Allen Fieldhouse right now. A tradition unlike any other. Have an awesome time tonight, Olivia. Kansas Nation, we'll see you guys later.
That was my conversation with freshman Olivia. A little bit jealous because I once was a freshman in a camping group at KU. Some of the greatest times. Also, I mean, yeah, we're not on ESPN Kansas City at this current moment, but there are some camping group names that we don't want to say if we're on ESPN Kansas City. Very entertaining. Good ones. Very entertaining. Shout out to the creativity of Kansas basketball fans. But yeah, while we were talking to these campers, we also saw, well, we were in the Booth Family Hall of Athletics, some UConn fans in town behind enemy lines, and Dan just itching to talk to one of them.
I did. Yeah. We saw a cluster of UConn fans getting a tour of Allen Fieldhouse. I managed to track one down named Jim, not Jim Calhoun.
Not Jim Calhoun.
Another Jim, born out of Windsor, Connecticut. He's been a lifelong UConn fan, been to all 6 of UConn's national championship games, saw all of them win, but he also was at the 2023 KU UConn game where UConn wound up losing, and he said it's an atmosphere unlike anything else. Let's hear that conversation I had with Jim, the UConn fan out of Burling, UConn, I believe is where he lives now.
Hey guys, Daniel Courtwright, Rock Chalk Sports on Kansas Nation. I'm here with Jim from Connecticut. Jim, you are a diehard UConn fan, but as I understand it, this isn't your first time in Allen Fieldhouse. You were here 2 years ago, and you just had to come back, right?
Yeah, this is quite an experience. Really, seeing this whole facility is quite an experience, and the environment is unmatched, in my opinion. I've traveled through a lot of different venues.
Right. Well, I mean, UConn, I want to talk about them because over the last 27 years, you guys have been on an incredible run. I mean, you grew up a UConn fan. Did you ever see something like this ever happening? Especially with Danny Hurley winning 2 in a row. I mean, my goodness.
No, I never did. But it was like I said, Jim Calhoun brought us to where we are. We have the foundation.
Right, absolutely. Well, what do you think is going to happen tonight, right? A couple of blue bloods battling. Darren Peterson might be back. You guys are getting healthy too. But
I've already heard he is coming back.
Okay, all right.
I've already heard that. No, I think it's going to be a very close game. The question is, will the crowd take us out of it? Last time I was here, Solo Ball said, for the first five, he said at the end of the game, the noise was so loud, he couldn't hear the coaches shouting at him.
Oh my goodness.
And that was the game that we came back with Tristan Newton.
Yeah.
And Cam Spencer almost made a three to take the lead.
That's right.
So it's quite an environment.
Yeah, I remember that game very well. Well, like you said, this isn't your first time in Lawrence. What's your favorite part about Lawrence so far, at least on this trip?
On this trip, outside of this tour, would be going down Massachusetts Avenue.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one other area that I've seen similar to that in the U.S., and that's Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Sure, that makes sense. Well, Jim, I appreciate it. I hope you have fun tonight, man. Selfishly, I hope you're on the losing end of it, but I really hope you guys have fun.
Hope we had a great game, and we'll see you maybe in the Final Four.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Absolutely. That was Jim from Connecticut. You guys are watching KansasNation.com.
That was our Dan Courtwright with Jim visiting and on a tour of Allen Fieldhouse. I also had a conversation with another KU camper who is excited to be at Allen Fieldhouse today. Max, he's a sophomore. Let's hear that now.
Hey guys, Sean here with Kansas Nation at Allen Fieldhouse. Huge game tonight. Number 21 KU, number 5 UConn. Being joined right now by Max, one of our star campers for this game. This place is loaded down with camping groups in advance of the top 25 matchup. Max, sophomore at KU, I understand you camped last year as well. Kind of tell us about this experience.
So it's all basically people my age. We're all sophomores. We got together through our dorm floor and decided to make a camping group, and we've just continued it this year. We camped every game last year, including North Carolina, where we went from being Group 101 up against the Woodboards to being Group 1 for the double overtime loss in Houston.
Wow.
We've been through it. The good win at the top, the bad loss at the bottom.
Yeah, we're trying to completely erase that Houston game from our memory, but bet that was a pretty cool experience, right?
It was a great game.
Oh my God, that's awesome for sure. How are you guys doing right now, numbers-wise?
We are about 33 or 34,
Okay.
so we will definitely be in the student section and be loud. I think we have a full group of 30 to this game.
Hey, that's fair. Right now, we're coming up on the noon hour, and we're 120, 130 groups right now, so people definitely pump for this one. KU got UConn a couple years ago at Allen Fieldhouse, but UConn's a really good team, top 5. KU played awesome in Vegas, though. What'd you like out of the Jayhawks those 3 games last week?
I like seeing that we're not completely relying on Darren Peterson. The El Marco breakout game was definitely a surprise for everyone, but something we all liked. Trey White's showing he is consistent and can get to the free throw line and make them, which is something the Jayhawks have been missing for a few years. Flory's gotten a lot stronger as the year goes on. He's not as scared to take it on his side. And Tiller's also a shooting threat, so that opens up the floor more than we have in previous years.
Hey, well said, man. That's what we've been talking about on Kansas Nation. How about tonight against UConn? Obviously, they were an 8 seed last year, almost beat Florida, who ended up winning it. 2 previous years, they won the title. Got a lot of good talent. What's KU going to have to do to make sure that they keep the Huskies down tonight?
Shut down the guards. I mean, their guards are...
Sophomore Max in a camping group, kid knows ball,
Yeah,
right? I
kid
mean,
does know ball.
He said a couple things we said about Trey getting to the free throw line, Bryson stretching the floor.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind seeing Tiller hit a couple threes today. He hasn't
Absolutely.
hit one in a while. So,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. He's talked about them stretching it, and kid also works for KJHK, so you can check him out there.
There you go. Well, really happy with the camping groups joining us a little bit earlier today at Allen Fieldhouse. KU UConn tonight at 8. More coming up here on Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com.
What's up, everybody? Dan Peterson. Everybody go check out KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports. Thanks for everybody joining us right now on ESPN Kansas City, as well as KansasNation.com. If you're listening on ESPN Kansas City, you're just in time for a Top 10 Tuesday. Dan, it is holiday season, loop-de-doo, and dickory-dock. Do you have something holiday prepared for us today, or are you saving that for a little bit later?
I'm glad you asked. No.
Okay.
I don't have anything holiday related. I was thinking about this one. I've had this one kind of in the bag for a while, and I've done some mulling over. I mean, you know how trends oftentimes repeat themselves, right? I mean, you know, we're seeing kids wearing like Jenko jeans and big baggy T-shirts and stuff from like Y2K with like spiky, hair. Which Sean, I'm sure you dabbled in.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you used
Were you
to
alive
have,
in Y2K?
You had frosted tips, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was born in 1998, so I don't remember the craze.
I did see a photo you showed me the other day, actually, of you as a blonde.
I did dye my hair blonde.
That was a phase.
I was in 7th grade. I dyed my hair blonde. I have like jet black hair, so when I dyed my hair blonde, it just turned out like a dark orange, and it was not good. So I actually think that was on one of my top 10 things I'll never do again.
That
was
you know what?
my hair.
I believe it. Did you have a reason for that? Did you lose a bet?
I just needed to change. I needed to change something up, man. I just needed to change something up, and I was like, you know what? I've always wondered what it'd be like to be a dumb blonde. Turns out I was just a dumb redhead.
Were you redhead at what point?
It was orange. It turned out. God. It turned out orange. I looked like a basketball. Okay. It was not good.
You tried.
I tried.
And you got a picture with who was it?
Gail
Ron
Sayers.
Kellogg. Okay.
I actually
Gail
that was when I got this hat signed, which is very embarrassing because the one time I saw Gail Sayers, I had like bright orange hair, and it did not work. But yeah,
my hat's signed by Rafe LaFrance, just for the record.
So anyway, I'm doing my top 10 things that I want to come back in style.
All right.
Because, like I said, there's trends that repeat themselves, but sometimes there are trends that don't repeat themselves, and we just kind of leave them in the past. And I think that there's a lot of great things that we used to do as
like
a society.
Nintendo GameCube.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So here is my top 10 things that need to come back in style. Starting off with number 10, birthday cards. So
everybody has the aunt who never forgets your birthday.
Of course, right. But I feel like, especially back in the 1900s, back when you were alive.
Yes. You were also alive in the 1900s.
I was alive in the 1900s. Yes, I was. I don't remember them. But I feel like people would like your friends would send you birthday cards, right? And I'll still get birthday cards from like my uncle who lives in Florida, and a couple of different people. But like, when's the last time you got a friend a birthday card?
Oh man, you're right. It's been a while.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like,
it's probably back in like went to their party when I was a kid, and you get them a card and a present.
Bingo. Exactly. Yeah. Right. And so I feel like birthday cards need to come back because they're very kind of sentimental, right? They're personable, right? Because now if it's somebody's birthday, you just text them HBD,
right?
I have a friend, every single birthday I'm in a group chat with them, and every single person who's in that group chat, all for their birthday, like if I have a buddy who's he just uses their initials, he goes HBD CW or HBD DC,
right? That's all you need to know,
and that's it. I'm like, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Like,
put my card in the mail,
and I love that. But also, it's like put a little thought into it. I want to see your handwriting. I want to see you write that down. I think it's fun. I think it's personable. I think birthday cards, not even just birthday cards.
Handwritten anything hits different. Anything. That's what it is.
And here's another one: postcards. Because have you ever sent a postcard in your life? Whenever you go on vacation,
no, I don't know that I've ever gone anywhere cool enough to send one.
Fair enough. You're not like, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm in Sioux Falls.
Right.
Here's a postcard.
I took a trip over to Kansas City.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Nobody buys postcards. Nobody sends postcards anymore. There used to be that used to be a booming business, and now there's just nothing.
Yeah,
and I think it's unfortunate. I like the personability of that, but then again, you gotta.
Do you have phone calls on here?
No, I'm a phone call guy. I like to call people.
You do,
but
I know. Believe me.
I don't know. There's just something. I know. I probably
like just text me.
No, I know that's fair. But like, if you're sending a birthday card, then you got to text them anyway and be like, "Hey, what's your address?" I don't have addresses.
I am one of those people who, if somebody calls me, it stresses me out. I'm like, "What just went wrong?"
Really?
Like the other day, my dad called me, and I was like, "Oh my god,
something's wrong."
I was like, something is wrong, or I did something wrong.
Sure.
Still in my 30s, I'm like worried about that.
Yeah. But I'll say that. I guess when I say I'm a phone call guy, I'm probably more of a phone call guy than any other like Gen Zer out there. I still like text is my go-to.
Right.
But
right,
like,
for sure.
But you know what's annoying? We're sending out save the dates. And for every single person who I have a save the date for, I have to text them and be like, "What is your address?"
Oh my God, right?
And it's so annoying.
Just so that you can send them something.
I don't have
snail mail.
anybody's address in my memory. I have your Sean's address is 14. No, I don't know. I actually don't know your address. But yeah, it's just that's the annoying thing. But like if you get together for your birthday or get together for somebody's birthday, go to a Walgreens. Get a card.
The problem is
write your name
cards
on
are
it.
not immune to inflation, dude. Like you can find a card for like $9.99. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's nice, but
tough.
then the thing with birthday cards is, what do you do with it after?
That's true.
I'm a sentimental person. Like I keep them, and occasionally I'll go back and read them.
Sure.
But a lot of times you just throw them out, right? I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what you got. I mean, especially when you're like you probably throw them out like after probably 4 months, and then you go, oh yeah, I don't know, I guess I don't need this anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's fine, I guess. But and also, yeah, like you said, inflation could be a big issue. So I guess I don't know. Rip a sheet out of a yellow legal pad, I guess. Just
right.
write your name on it.
Yeah.
HBD. I don't know. Anyway, that was number 10. Number 9 on my top 10 things that need to come back in style. Appointment television. This is a big one that I've been thinking of. In the world of streaming and having everything at your fingertips that you need,
which you love,
I do in theory, but I miss the like. And granted,
like Dancing with the Stars is on at 8 tonight. Like I want to make sure that I'm there.
Like when I was a kid, they used to be a big thing. I'd be like, oh, it's Wednesday. Sweet Life of Zach and Cody's on.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean?
Right.
Like something, you know what I mean? Like appointment television where the whole family gathers around. I remember
agree.
when like High School Musical came out, High School Musical 2. That was a big thing. Like me and my family, we got together, we made popcorn.
I'll do you one better.
We were please.
Lost. You talk about appointment television on ABC, man. It was on like a Wednesday or something. It's like, man, 8 o'clock. We got to make sure dishes are done,
right?
Because we're sitting on the couch and watching Lost.
Well, even like Friends, like I wasn't around for that, and just hearing people talk about like, oh yeah, like every whatever it was Thursday night or whatever, on NBC,
the new Friends episode,
people would have watch parties for that stuff, and now you could just you're like, what am I in the mood for? Oh, whatever. I guess I'll throw on this, and I'll watch 18 episodes in a row.
Yeah.
And it's like binge watching is great. And it's coming back, right? Like there are shows that do weekly premieres. Like HBO, I know does a great job of that, where they'll have a show come out on Sunday nights, but it comes out on HBO Max. But it's still that to me is relatively appointment television, but also it's like, oh, I missed it. I'll watch it on Monday. It's like, no. You need to schedule your day around this show that you're watching, and if you're a minute late, you don't know what's going on. I love that sense of community where like the next day you're at the water cooler and you're like, man, just see what happened on Seinfeld or whatever. Like I don't know, right? It's just that to me feels I miss that.
It's a good one.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Number 8 on my top 10 things that need to come back in style: funny graphic T-shirts. I used to have a lot of these when I was a kid, like the ones, and they're very specific. Elijah might know what I'm talking about. Like the ones, they were like green and they had like a piece of paper on it and it said like to-do list, video games.
Oh my God.
And annoying my sister. And like those are I had a bunch. I had a bunch too, and they're fun. I miss like those kind of, because now everything's like Gucci, and maybe kids aren't wearing Gucci, but you know what, you get the gist. Everything is so, it's like no, I want to go to Walmart, get a $6 T-shirt, and just wear it around. I actually have a funny graphic T-shirt that says "I'm in the witness protection program." That's maybe my favorite T-shirt. I'll wear it on the show one of these days.
You should.
It's very funny.
I've got one that says Emporia State football that I think I'm going to break out.
You
at some
do.
point.
I gave that to you.
I know.
That's
I need
right.
I need to break it out.
I don't know. Funny graphic T-shirts I think need to come back in style. Just the like the ones. I don't know, man. You could tell a lot from a person.
I didn't have a lot of those, so I can't help you out a lot there. Like, but Elijah did, so we're good.
You could tell a lot about a person who, whenever they wear like a graphic T-shirt with something that they, it doesn't even have to be like one of those funny ones. It could be like just like a regular, I don't know, just like a regular old like KU shirt. Like I feel like those are kind of going by the wayside too. Where a lot of people are just
vintage
wearing,
ones are kind of coming
like
back.
I'm wearing just a regular t-shirt right now because like I feel like this is kind of what's in style without the flannel, right? Because you said that's out of style. But like graphic t-shirts I think are just so much fun. Like you did the pub crawl and you made the t-shirts
Isn't it great?
that said
Isn't it great?
LFK pub crawl.
My
And I
wife
was like,
has killed it on that
that's
front,
awesome.
man. Gosh, right?
I'm a fan of that because it tells a story too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you were at the thing, you
Yeah.
know, or
And
like
she's had to get creative too because she's you know, but we've done so many things. I think this most recent one was the whiskey glass with the cherry in it.
Yeah.
But she's done like a bottle cap one. She's done like a whole bar
Well,
setup
there's
with
colors
bar
for different
stools.
years,
Oh,
right?
so
Like,
great.
this was a
so
blue
this was a
year.
blue year, which blue year was the first year that we. No, blue year was the second year that we did it. So I think we're on the yellows next year.
Yellows. I look good
Yeah.
in yellow.
Yeah.
By the way,
I'm looking. Well, I'm not looking forward to seeing you, but I'm looking forward to the shirts.
I have a yellow hoodie and I just look like the sun.
Yeah.
Number, what am I at? 7?
Yes.
Number 7 on my top 10 things that need to come back in style: colorful appliances. This was a thing back in the 60s, I would say, sort of that mid-century modern kind of era where people would have like pastel blue and avocado green, like refrigerators and microwaves. My parents actually, they bought they bought a house up in Kansas City and it has the original appliances and they have an avocado green stove and a matching sink. It is the coolest, and I love it. But now you go to Menards or Home Depot or wherever, you're not going to find a colorful fridge or a colorful microwave anywhere. I think those need to come back.
What's the difference between avocado green and green?
You see an avocado?
I have. It's green.
It's more like it's kind of like the color of Elijah's shirt, a little bit brighter, but it's so much fun. Like everything is silver or white.
If you Google avocado
Color
green,
has-
it is green.
Color has been drained from society because everyone wants to be neutral. No. I want colorful things in my house.
Which is so funny because you're wearing that gray shirt and you said this is now in
it's
style.
like a navy. It's a blue.
Okay.
Shirt. I'll start bringing. I'm a colorful person. I like colors. I think they're fun. All of the appliances in our house though are silver.
That it is lame. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
A little bit of character would be nice.
Give me
would be
some
nice,
character.
Yeah.
Give
What's
me
number
give me
6
a
here?
pink sink. You know what I mean? I think it's fun. Number 6 on my top 10 things that need to come back in style: funny voicemails.
Yes.
You ever leave any funny voicemails?
Occasionally around 2 a.m. I have. But
Well, no.
but yeah.
I mean, sorry. Funny voicemails that you record.
The outgoing.
Okay. The outgoing where, you call somebody and then all of a sudden the voicemail picks up and it's a hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Right.
Just kidding. I'm not at the phone right now. Leave the
Or the Friends episode with Chandler where he is literally there screening the call and his outgoing says, yeah, if you're hearing this right now, we're probably screening.
Yeah,
and he's
right.
sitting on the couch. He's like, yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're just No, I think that's fun. That's gone by the wayside. Or like the fun couples ones where they go back and forth with each word. They're like, leave the message at the
That's
beep.
cute. That's cute.
I
You
love
and Piper should do that.
Or like you can make a little rap or
But-
like a little song and
that's the
sing
problem
it.
is it would
Leave
be
the
more
message at
fun
the beep.
if there were landlines. If landlines were a thing.
Sure, that's
now
fair.
everybody's got their own personal mobile device.
Right.
And
I
can't
haven't
do
I
anything.
haven't created an outgoing voicemail since I was probably in like maybe middle school when I had my first phone.
Yeah.
But I used to have fun ones. By the way, my ringtone still to this day is a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
Yeah, dude, you've told me that. West Philadelphia.
Yeah, born and raised.
There we go.
Absolutely. It's my favorite show back in the day. Number 5 on my top 10 things that need to come back in style. This kind of goes with the colorful appliances. Wood paneling. I'm a fan. You've seen my basement.
I have.
Wood paneling everywhere. Do you like it?
No.
What do you mean no? It looks good. I like it. I like the wood paneling. Everything has gone. Do you know what the most popular color of paint in the world is right now?
Brown.
Agreeable gray.
Agreeable gray. Because people are safe, man.
And I don't like safe. Give me.
Why do you know that
something
piece
with-
of trivia? Agreeable gray.
What do you mean? You don't sit up at night Googling,
No.
researching
Man,
paint colors?
That is honestly, that's something that it's in style right now. Agreeable gray.
Absolutely it is. And it sucks. It sucks. I hate it. Look at this behind us. Look at this behind us. Could you imagine we would lose dozens of viewers if our backdrop was agreeable gray?
Dozens. Totally.
Dozens.
I agree.
Because they'd be like, oh,
No, this is gorgeous. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Absolutely, this is great.
Scoreboard's a nice touch as
Wood
well.
paneling is fantastic. Wood paneling needs to come back on walls everywhere. It reminds me of simpler times, right? It's darker. It makes the room more cozy. I'm a big fan.
All right.
Big fan of wood paneling. You know what?
It's very classy.
I'll even go as far as say I like the wood paneling on the side of cars. You remember that when everybody would put wood on the side of their van? Like you could buy a Plymouth van in 1985 and it would have a slice of wood on the side.
I do remember those.
Bring
I do
it
remember.
back.
Yep.
Why not? Give me 25 good reasons why we should.
You're getting a lot of like 1970s vibe.
Yeah,
I feel like with some
damn
of these.
straight.
All right, what's number 5 here?
Wait, that was number 5. Number 4.
What was number 6? I'm keeping track.
Number 6 is funny voicemails.
Oh, funny voicemail. Okay.
Funny outgoing voicemails.
Yes.
Number 5 was wood paneling. Number 4, and now this could spark some controversy. The BCS Bowl Series. That needs to come back in
As
style.
in not the college football playoffs?
So I like the fact that there is a playoff. I think that needed to change. But the BCS Bowl Series, there was just something about it where playing in the Rose Bowl or the Cotton Bowl or the Peach Bowl or the Orange Bowl.
There's one word that you're about to say.
It just
There's
meant,
one word.
It meant more.
Pageantry.
Pageantry. Damn straight.
Is that not the word you're going to say?
The Rose Bowl doesn't mean anything anymore.
It really doesn't. It's
the granddaddy of them all.
It's like Washington Huskies against gosh, I guess
like
they're
Wisconsin.
a Big 10, Pac-12 hybrid. I don't know who even gets invited now because the Pac-12 it's a Big 10 champion against Washington State.
See, but that's the thing. It's completely eradicated all of these fantastic. The fact that we don't have to be. I miss those big bowls, right? Bowl games, and people aren't going to like that I have to say this. Bowl games mean nothing anymore, right? It's either you make the CFP or you're playing in a what's the word I'm looking for? A participation game.
Participation trophy, yeah.
Yeah, where in the past there was the national championship, which was held for the top two.
Fun for fans.
And you had the Rose Bowl, you had the Orange Bowl, you had the Cotton, you had all these different bowl games that meant almost the same as national championship. Kansas held on to winning a BCS bowl game. We still do as a point of conversation whenever we talk to Kansas State fans.
It's kind of like a Final Four appearance when you win one of those. But yeah, no, I agree. But I love the bracket format. You got to do it. And I was, you know what I was reading the other day when we were talking about Lane Kiffin, or, Lane Kiffin's been everywhere, obviously. The 2003 season started kind of the derailing of the BCS Bowl because you had two national champions.
Right.
You did. You had USC and LSU because you had the BCS national champion and the AP national champion. And it's like, this isn't going to work.
Which, by the way, I didn't like the fact that the AP writers they always deemed the national champion.
Is that a stab at Henry Greenstein?
No.
Was he voting back in 03?
Maybe.
We'll see.
I bet he sent them letters.
We'll
but
ask him on tomorrow's show.
Responded.
Right.
No, I don't know. I miss. Maybe it's nostalgia. Maybe it's because I grew up with it. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's because I like the pageantry of the Rose Bowl.
It's
and the
pageantry,
Cotton
man.
Bowl. It's
great.
pageantry. I miss the days when other bowl games other than the national championship meant something, and it just feels like they don't anymore. Number 3 on my top 10 things that need to come back in style: malls.
Oh yes, especially around Christmas, man.
Absolutely.
I am done with online shopping, man. I really don't like it. It's not as fun for Christmas specifically. Like I get you're going to have to do it at times, but for Christmas, it's so much fun to plan a day, get out, pick up an Annie Ann's soft pretzel, pick up a slushie, pick up some Chipotle, pick up some other snacks, get some more drinks, and then eventually go shopping.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a sense of community.
Spend just hundreds of dollars.
There's a sense of community too, where like everyone you can see everyone hustling around the mall.
Oh, the best is you go on like December 23rd.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I don't have anything for Christmas, and neither do any of these people.
And
it's
you're bouncing
great.
around stores, and it's right there. Now you got to plan it ahead, and you're just sitting on your phone scrolling, going, click, I want that. Click, I want that. No. I want an activity. I like activities where you go out and you do something and you buy things, and maybe you swing by the Sbarro in the
Yeah,
in
totally.
the food court, and maybe you run into an old friend at the mall who's doing the same thing, and it's like that's the fun of it. And I miss malls. I miss them.
Totally with you there.
I back when I was a kid, like middle school age, we used to go on dates to the mall where you literally would just meet up with a girl at the mall and just walk around until your parents picked you up.
It's great.
It was it, and it was fantastic. Oh, I miss malls.
Shout out Oak Park.
Number 2 on my top 10 things that need to come back in style. Sean, you'll appreciate this, and I have a lot of them. Baggy basketball shorts.
Oh yeah.
This isn't a stab at any current players. I'm talking about for me to wear, because I have a lot of baggy basketball shorts that my fiance will make fun of me so much if I wear them.
Yeah.
I have a pair of shorts.
I mean, they are so out of style.
So out of style. And I have a pair of shorts that go down to my shins. I'll wear them around the house. And she goes, "What are you doing? Why are you?"
I've got something I don't know what to do with because I don't want to get rid of them, but they're obviously not going to work out for me.
Maybe those will come back in style. Also, I do kind of miss the days when basketball players would wear baggy basketball shorts. It's fun. You know what I mean? Now, granted, are they the most aerodynamic or the easiest things to move around in? Probably not.
It wasn't even that long ago. You look at the 2013 Kansas basketball comes to mind with like Elijah Johnson and Jeff Withey. I mean, they have some long shorts.
Absolutely. I grew up in a small town in Kansas, so we were behind in the times.
Yeah.
So I wore baggy basketball shorts back in 2016.
Yeah.
So and I kind of miss them, man. I have a bunch of baggy basketball shorts, but now everything has to be a 5-inch inseam. It's like, I'm not confident in my thighs.
I know, but it's so
can't
much
wear
easier to
those.
move around.
I know.
It is.
Yeah, they're too tight on me. I don't know.
All right, let's get a drum roll here. Number one
on my top 10 things that need to come back in style. Movie theaters.
I can't tell you the last time I went
I love movie theaters.
Yeah.
That ties in with like the mall thing of like, that is because there's some movies that you watch, like Oppenheimer comes to mind. Any action movie like Mission Impossible or like a Bond movie or something, they need to be watched in a theater on a big screen with surround sound. And scary movies are a great one, or even comedies, right? Scary movies, you get everyone in there screaming when a jump scare happens, and there's something about that's kind of magical, right? Or a comedy when something funny happens, everyone in the theater's laughing. It brings that sense of community, and I feel like movie theaters are making their way back, right? You're seeing a number of different, movies that gain traction and they're breaking records and all this stuff, but like the last really big one I can remember is probably like Avengers Endgame. Or Barbie was a big one. Barbie and Oppenheimer were big too, and there's been a number of other movies that have had a big box office thing. But movie theaters have a special place in my heart.
Yeah,
I love movie theaters. I need them to make a comeback.
I need the buttery, salty popcorn. But hey, that's good. Any honorable mentions for you before we kick it? Because we got to hear from Bill Self here next segment.
Yeah, I have one. Powdered wigs.
Powdered wigs. Good one. Glad you could squeeze that in. Mm-hmm. You're listening to ESPN Kansas City and watching KansasNation.com. After this, Bill Self press conference in full from yesterday. ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com.
Hey, this is Cole Ballard, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Going to hear from Bill Self. Big one tonight for KU. We learned a little bit earlier today, no Darren Peterson tonight for the Jayhawks, so they're going to have to do it without him, as they did 3 times over in Vegas last week. But toughest challenge to date, unquestionably, as the number 5 ranked UConn Huskies come calling. Let's hear from the Hall of Famer right now.
Do you have any update on Darren and his status?
Kinda. He has practiced, and he's gone up and down. The hesitancy I have is that before we'll announce anything is he has to test out medically from a strength and flexibility standpoint, and we'll know that in the morning. So still no answer, but we'll be able to say something definitively in the morning. All right, guys, thanks for coming.
If he's able to play, is there any thought in your mind of starting, not starting? Does that matter to you?
Doesn't matter, but if he plays, he's starting. So So
how's he looked at practice?
He's looked good. Yeah, he's looked good. You know, he's been out for 3 weeks from practice, but yeah, he's done well the last few days.
When you think about your team without him, where do you think you've missed him most? And maybe not big picture, but just specifically in game on the court, X's and O's type stuff.
Well, he's a scoring threat, you know, when he has the ball. So I don't know that. First of all, our guys have done great. So I'm not going to, in any way, shape, or form, take away from how hard they're trying and what they're trying to do. I mean, we've had guys step up and in different roles and deliver. So I'm real happy with that situation. I've said all along, it could be a blessing that we forced other guys to be aggressive, and now when he comes back, now maybe we'll be more apt to play off of him and play with him from an aggressive standpoint, as opposed to passive, watching him go make plays. So it could be a silver lining. We don't know yet because we haven't played, but I think the biggest thing, you go under a ball screen, now you pack it in, all the things that the way that teams guard us now, which they may not try to guard us the same way moving forward. And certainly when you can stretch the defense and make them guard further up the floor, of course that makes the offense much easier to run behind it. So we'll see, but I think I don't think it's been bad. I love Melvin and Elmarco and Jamari's, Trey's aggressiveness on the perimeter, because we've done a better job driving the ball.
Have you had, I mean, it seems like his game and him as a player, he could fit into any 4 players on the floor. He could fit into any style. He could fit into any team. Have you had many guys like that just fit whatever you need whenever it is?
To be real honest with you, aren't all the really good ones like that?
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what. I mean, he doesn't have to be your leading scorer, but he will. You know, he doesn't have to be your leading assist guy, but he can. I think Josh could have played on any team. I think Wiggs could have played on any team. I think Sharon could have played on any team. So I think the best ones know how to do that naturally, and certainly he's more than capable of making any other 4 look better when he's out there.
Coach Reese, out of UConn, where do you think you match up well against them?
Well, they're good. You know, they're really good, and they play a stretch 4, which is a little bit different than some of the teams that we played here recently. Like Tennessee played two traditional bigs, and they definitely play a stretch 4 that's really a guard. Majority of the minutes, they're the best that we'll probably play against this year as far as offensive movement. And Danny must spend 30 minutes a day running dry offense, because those guys really do a good job of tight curling, and the next time they're coming off a stagger, and the next time they're back cutting the down screen, and the next time they're slipping the fade screen, the next time they're setting the fade screen into a ball screen. I mean, they do a really good job of moving without the ball, and as a credit to them. So offensively, I think that it's a hard matchup. It's a hard matchup, but there are the way that they move without the ball. There are some things about that hopefully, being versatile, being pretty long on the perimeter, not big, but fairly long on the perimeter, and having some big guys that can move their feet. Hopefully that'll help us a little bit, but certainly they're a handful to guard, and then defensively they're tough and they're sound. You watch the Illinois game, and they make you make plays, and they're physical, and of course we got to be able to jump up and make some shots too, because you're not going to get a ton of wide open looks, but when you get them, you better take advantage of them.
How have you handled the preparation for it, just after playing 3 games in 3 days? These last 4 days, how have you handled it?
Yeah, it's actually, it's been all, we came back and we took Thanksgiving off, and then we practiced Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for UConn. So Friday was a light practice, but we practiced for UConn, and the last 3 days have been heavy. So it hasn't been. It'd be just the same thing as playing a Monday, Saturday game, during the season, a big Monday and a Saturday game. So there hasn't been any difference.
Bill, with guys like Melvin or Cole or even Jaden or whoever that haven't played at this level, did you expect to learn a lot from the gauntlet, Duke, Carolina, Vegas, all that stuff, and what did you see from how they handled it going into another big one on Tuesday?
Well, I think we saw some guys that probably aren't comfortable from an execution standpoint, but are comfortable from a hooping standpoint. Melvin, per se. So I think they've done well. There's screw-ups. Bryson's first-year guy. Cole's a first-year guy. Marco and Mari didn't play last year. Flory's only a sophomore. There's a lot of things that were positive about how we played. But the biggest thing that I thought was the positive is that we actually guarded and rebounded. And if you do those two things, you can be in most games. But that was even when our offense was stale, which it was, and it will be until we get total rhythm and continuity. If you defend and rebound, you still got a shot.
Historically speaking, do you feel like you learn more about guys in those types of games? Duke at the Garden, Carolina.
I actually thought, yes, to answer your question.
Yeah.
I think you do learn more about guys in real games. But I actually thought the Duke game in the Garden, I actually thought we handled that fairly well. We had a bad stretch to end the first half when we got in foul trouble. But I actually thought we handled that pretty well. There's some things that maybe we could do with Trey to tell him after he's got 3 fouls or 4 fouls, maybe not try to foul the next possession. But for the most part, I thought we handled the situations pretty well.
Bill, when you look at Marco's game, last game, do you feel like it's something that can kind of help him build confidence and something he can build off of, or do you think you have to see more from him in the coming games?
Well, you asked 2 questions. Can he get confidence from it? He should. He played great. Do I need to see more? You know what? I don't need to see more. I just need to see just more about the player he was last game. I got confidence in him being able to do that most times because he did make some shots the other day. But he's not a guy that has to make shots to play well if he's playing the way that we envision him playing. And he's doing a better job with that. So, but should it give him confidence? Absolutely. He was terrific the other day.
Do you think Jaden will be able to go tomorrow?
He's practiced. So he practiced today. So I would say available, yes. When the adrenaline starts flowing and things like that, I would say that those little nicks aren't felt near as much when the adrenaline's flowing like it would be.
Does he have to wear a wrap?
No.
What do you think of the difficulty of the schedule coming up?
You're talking about UConn, Missouri, and at NC State? Yeah, I think it's hard. I mean, if you look across America, though, there's a ton of teams playing ridiculously hard schedules in November. And these games are important, but they're more resume builders than they are anything else. Because the teams that we see in November, you guys have seen it here firsthand, isn't necessarily the same team that's going to be playing in February. And it's that way across the board. Some teams that really labor in November, they're the best teams in the country in February. Maybe because they do labor in November. And some teams that are really good in November, maybe they peak a little too early or whatnot. But the schedule's hard. The schedule's been good. Vegas was good for us because we, if we were 100% whole and we were playing well, at Carolina is a hard game. At Duke in the Garden is a hard game. Tennessee is a hard game. UConn is a hard game. I mean, these are games, and Missouri and NC State will be the same way. These are games that will probably have a lot to do with momentum and a lot to do with resume, but I'm not sure it's going to have a ton to do with how good you are in February.
I assume you'll be ranked today. Does the team care about the rankings?
They may. That Gary, that's never come up one time. I can't remember when we talked about it when we were ranked high or when we were ranked low. That just doesn't come up for you, ever.
What do you think of UConn's program through the years?
Well, through the years, they've won 6 in the last 27 years. So that puts them as the premier program as far as winning a championship in America. It's obviously a great program because you talk about LSU in football, that they've had 3 different coaches win national championships. Am I right? Saban and Les and Orgeron. Is that right? Hey, UConn's done it, and they 2 of the 3 have won multiple championships. So you would have to. You talk about LSU being this great program in football, which it is. How could you not say the same thing about UConn in basketball? Because what they've done is ridiculously impressive, and what Danny's done in his time there has been unprecedented almost. Yeah, a lot of respect, and they're going to be in the mix most every year, I would think. When I say in the mix, I'm saying competing to play on a Monday night.
And they're getting healthy, I guess. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, Mullins and Reed both played in the last game. So Reed, if I'm not mistaken, didn't score in the last game. He only played 15 minutes. But he's still averaging 15 on the year. So that means if you take out the last game, when he's been healthy, he's averaging 20.5 points per game. So that's pretty impressive for the big to do that, and then they can stretch it from all the spots. So they got a well-balanced team.
Bill, we've seen sort of the ebbs and flows of how you evaluate your teams, what you think about them in November and then December and then Big 12 and all that. When you have a guy like Darren out, how much does that change your process of how you look at your team or where you expect certain milestones? And
I don't know that I expect certain milestones, but I will tell you this. The way that these kids tried and competed on 3 straight days with very little depth and guys playing 35 plus a game 3 days in a row, to me, showed me something from a care or from a toughness standpoint that you can't be good unless you have those qualities. So whether or not we are always going to play well or not, we'll grow into playing well. But the intangible bit was very important for us to see, and for the players to see what happens when we do display that when we do play.
Has that continued through practice in recent days, that momentum that you saw?
I think so, but it's have we had good practices? Yes. From a momentum standpoint, I'd like to say we see it in practice, but it's a lot harder to tell that in practice as opposed to games. So.
Do the guys feel, and you almost feel like you won the tournament? I mean, you didn't get a chance to play for it, but you went 3-0.
Michigan was the best team in the tournament. I think they proved that by winning by 30, 40. Okay, they were the best team. You can make a case for we were the second best team in the tournament. In a tournament which you probably have 5 or 6 teams that are capable of going to Final Four. You guys agree with that? So now does that mean anything? It doesn't mean a thing because you didn't get matched up with those other teams. But I think Gonzaga is so impressive. So that makes Michigan's win to me that much more impressive. I think what Iowa State's doing is ridiculously impressive. I thought that we did as well as we could possibly do. We had 3 games. We won 3 games all against high major competition, and one team that's really, really good and has a chance maybe to play for highest stakes. So I was pleased, but it's nothing to get giddy over. I mean, it was a good momentum push for us, though.
We talk about it with MTEs sometimes, and maybe we saw it a little bit in the post-game interviews, but do you feel like the team is getting closer and bonded, and how did Las Vegas help them?
I actually think the success in Las Vegas helped us bond.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that we're a team yet. I don't know if anybody, I say this all along, I don't know if anybody in America is a team in November. But I think that we're closer to becoming a team, you know, having gone out there.
With Trey White, how have you seen his confidence grow after kind of putting him into that three and making him, you know, kind of be that guy whenever Darren Peterson's out?
Well, Trey's a good player, and Trey wants that role. He wants to be more aggressive. He wants to have a bigger impact, and you know, he's good at drawing fouls. He's good at doing some things that certainly is part of the DNA of a winning basketball team. And he can, you know, guard and play multiple positions. But the thing about Trey, and I'll say that's about he and Melvin both, they're just hoopers. I mean, they just go out and play, and you know, the only thing I'd be critical of Trey on is being able to understand game situations a little better from a foul standpoint, because he gave up a couple the other day that he shouldn't have.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
That's head coach Bill Self. That was yesterday, of course, before we learned of the news today. Coach sending out a statement that Darren Peterson will not play. And we talked about that a little bit earlier in the show, but saying he's close, but he's not quite there. He's very close. Coach said the full quote is this, quote, Darren is not going to play tonight. He is very close. He has worked his butt off, but he is still not 100%. He is day to day, end quote. Talked a lot about that. This will be the 7th straight game that DP missed. And as we previewed in the Open, Kansas is going to have to play probably their best game of the year. They're at home, so you got that going for you, and certainly like to think that you have some momentum after the success in Vegas, but going to have to do it without their star point guard for at least one more game. And then the Border War is coming up at T-Mobile Center Sunday at noon. Hopefully he's back then. In the meantime, though, let's support these guys and hope they can get a top 5 win. It would be another huge resume builder for KU. After this, we're going to hear from Bryson Tiller, give a couple college basketball game picks as well. Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com.
I'm DJ Withers, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports. We're going to hear from KU's Bryson Tiller here very shortly. But first, got to tell you about Game Day Men's Health. Want to check in with everybody and see how you're feeling right now. It's important for us, particularly as we get older, to keep an eye on ourselves and make sure that we are getting everything that we need. Mitch Bales over at Game Day Men's Health Lawrence does a great job. We had him in last week, and we'll tell you about all the great things that he offers. Appreciate the partnership.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, Mitch is a great guy, runs a great, you know, business over there. Just absolutely fantastic. A great partnership. We had him on the show a couple weeks ago. And, again, just an excellent, excellent person to, you know, hang out with. And in Game Day Men's Health, they do such a good job because a lot of guys, like me included, have a little bit of white coat phobia, right? You're kind of nervous to go to the doctor. It's a little like, oh, I'll push it off, and I'm sure it's fine. That ache in my side, I'm sure it'll pass. But no, you guys need to go get yourself checked out, and they do such a good job of kind of overcoming that white coat phobia, if you will, with a plush man cave like setting at Game Day Men's Health. They got Kansas Nation, they got Rock Chalk Sports on replay over there as well, so you can check out our show. But a really cool place that they'll you know, they understand as much as anybody that sometimes these things can get uncomfortable, and they do such a good job of making you comfortable while you're there. It's so important that you guys get yourself just in all aspects, whatever that may be, right? They have a licensed nurse practitioner there. They have a number of different supplements for anything, right? They don't specialize in one thing. They specialize in pretty much everything. So go check them out. Game Day Men's Health. It's over in West Lawrence. A great partnership for us to have. And please go get yourselves checked out, because we all need to.
Full-on medical clinic. Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. 50% of men lose testosterone by the age of 40. So you want to make sure that you're getting that checked out. They've got pretty much anything you need. And 60% of all men are going to struggle with ED at some point in their lives. So Game Day Men's Health Lawrence can help you with all of that. You want to make sure that you've got the energy to go to work, to go to the gym, to take care of your family, and you don't have to live like this if you're struggling right now. Make sure that you find a new normal. They can help you over at Game Day Men's Health. Lawrence, if you're trying to lose some weight, whatever it is that you need, make sure that that you're going and giving them a shout out and tell them that the guys at Rock Chalk Sports sent you, because we love that partnership. Really appreciate Mitch Bales and everybody over there. Let's hear from Bryson Tiller, KU UConn, tonight at 8 p.m.
Bryson, you were standing there, I think, that last bit about this group becoming a team and bonding in Vegas. How much do you think that did help, not just the wins, but also being out there for that prolonged time and kind of getting to experience that together?
Definitely brought us closer as a team. Being out there 3 days playing 3 tough games. Yeah, it definitely brought us closer. On and off the court, I feel like we learned a lot about each other. So we'll just continue to build on that.
How do you feel that on the court when you say that and you know that's happened? How do you feel that on the court?
We're just playing off each other well. We're sharing the ball, playing good defense, and overall, and most importantly, just playing hard. I feel like that's good. Win us big games.
Bryson, what are you seeing out of UConn?
They're a good team. Definitely got to respect them. Good post presence. We got to be strong and physical on the inside. Out rebound them. But again, I feel like if we just communicate well and play hard on defense first, they've done that. It won't happen that will lead us to losing the game. So we'll be good.
What do you think of playing all these tough games? You've got 3 more coming up after winning 3 big ones. What do you think of the schedule?
I love it. I feel like competing at the highest level is something that I came to school for. We all did. So we're extremely excited to play these games and get these wins. So I feel like this is a great opportunity.
Did you grow up following UConn much at all? Coach Elbert was talking about its recent success nationally.
Yeah, I definitely saw, when Kimball Walker was playing and stuff. Not a super like a fan or anything, but definitely saw the history that they had at the program. I had a teammate, Stephon Castle, who played there, won a championship, so they have a respectable program for sure.
How do you think Darren's looked in practice?
This looked pretty good. We're excited to have him back whenever that is. So yeah, he looks pretty good.
Is there any guys on the team right now on the UConn team?
No, there isn't.
With Vegas, the players there, that was your first MTE that you were a part of, playing 3 games in 3 days. Just what does that do on the body, like physically, and what's your mentality going through that? Just, tough game after tough game after tough game.
Yeah. To be honest, it's a lot. It's more mental than physical, to be honest. I feel like you tell yourself you're tired and you're gonna be tired. So, just get as much recovery as you can and get a lot of fluids and prepare for the next game.
What was your perspective about just the comeback against Tennessee?
We never stopped believing in ourselves. We got down, but we knew what we had in the huddle, so we just leaned on each other and played off each other very well to get that win.
Thanks, Bryson.
That was Bryson Tiller yesterday. KU UConn tonight at 8. Who do you like? KU plus 2.5 against the Huskies.
KU wins, KU covers.
How about that? Crimson and Blue Show, Sports Radio 810 WHB at 6:30. Rock Chalk Sports. Big shout out to Elijah Schmidt and Dan Courtwright. Sean Kellerman. We'll see you later. ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com.